Hey everyone, this is Roger again. Today's trend seems to be going more PC gaming. Me and Terry have been playing PC games for about a year and a half now, I think. Wow, it's been that long. And there's a trend of people wanting to build PCs more and more until the next new consoles come out, and then we'll have a shift back to consoles. But until then, it may be a good time to start investing. We got past the crypto mining phase, so GPUs are relatively cheap. RAM went down in cost, so it's a nice time to build like even a budget PC. I built one recently that I wanted to do for network storage and to have something I could kind of mess around with. But in general, this may be your starting point, and let's say you got all this stuff, and now I forgot to buy an OS. Now I gotta spend $100 and some to get Windows, or find some way to get it for $10, but you might want to be legit for once and get a legit copy of Windows. But man, I just don't have $100 right now to spend. I may have an old Steam library from back then and some other free games I could play, but I just want to get this going. Well, there's other alternatives people aren't aware of. And as a developer, I kind of like Linux a lot. So a lot of my OSs I run for general development is Linux. And that's actually becoming a gaming platform now. So I'll provide instructions down to make a live USB, or you can always burn an ISO if you have a CD-ROM, but no one adds a CD-ROM like this computer I showed earlier didn't have a CD-ROM. So I'll add that down on the bottom, how to make a live disk, but once you install, here's a copy of Ubuntu I have installed on here. And for the most part, it's relatively easy to get started. It's not like Windows where I can just download NVIDIA driver and just get kicked off. I kind of do a little manual work. So here's a site that I'm showing that shows how to get a new package. So Linux, not to go into too much details, handles things in packages. So the Ubuntu has something called app, and you have to point to the NVIDIA repository and then find a driver that matches your graphics card, which you can look up. Or there's other ways to have Linux yell at you. So this site kind of shows you them steps of going through and showing you that you can kind of use Linux to find what is the recommended drivers and then do commands there if you want to kind of have Ubuntu do things for you. So once you get past that hurdle, which is a good experience just to learn how some Linux systems works, you can kind of start playing games. I realized 100 plus of my games from about 200 some transferred over to Linux. So here is me playing Grid. It's kind of crappy. I do apologize. I was playing on a TV. I figured I'll try to play this as low level as I could. So I had a $50 Walmart TV that didn't have great resolution, and OBS just set it to that resolution. But I was still managing to play Grid. I was getting decent frames. I didn't go over this yet, but this computer had a Ryzen 3 2nd gen and a 1050 Ti. So it handled Grid pretty well. Grid's a little intensive. It's a little older, so it was doing a little bit of stuttering to me, but it was playable. I was able to race. I did play Enter the Gungeon was also available, but some reason my recording didn't like that. So blame Premiere for me not showing that. But what else you can do with Linux is there's actually a bunch of open source games. So here is Super Tux, which is inspired by a certain Italian character that you could play, and people made levels for this game. So this had some interactability. I wouldn't say this was like, oh man, you have to get Linux to get this game, but it passed the time. And which this is good to help showcase too is, I said this game's open source. So the source code is available on GitHub. So this kind of helps open up the opportunity for people to kind of actually start learning how to program games. So you can have like a small Steam library. Not all your games will transfer over. You could get kind of technical and try to fight Wine to get some Windows games to play. That's gotten easier over the years, but I don't recommend doing that too much if you're new to computers. But if you didn't account for OS and built this computer, you can kind of sustain until you get the OS money up. So it's fine to kind of try out Linux. This might be a learning experience. And once you're done, you could just delete it and put Windows on and get back to the gaming you really wanted to do. I just want to showcase this because I just like giving other options and just showing some scenarios people might get into and experience something different. If you like to learn a new operating system and just figure out new things, learn some development, and have a place to start, I think this provides a good opportunity and to try out free software for once. So anyways, I just kind of wanted to give a quick recap, and I wanted to see how well my computer handled games without Windows. I was curious on that experience, and it was an okay experience. A little bit of a more learning curve, but I enjoyed it. So anyways, this is Roger. I hope you enjoyed this, and like and subscribe if you want to see more videos. Thank you for your time.